Getting up and down the stairs involves a complex series of strength, power, and balance reactions that people with MS can commonly find quite difficult. Not least because you're often going down the stairs first thing in the morning before your legs have woken up, or last thing at night when you could be quite fatigued. What we need for a successful journey up and down the stairs is power to get you up and control to get you down. And there are some really common challenges that people face there that we can really work on with some simple exercises that help to alter your technique a little bit and build your confidence and control so that the movements go well. We're going to look at a series of different things that will give you the confidence to do the stairs with success, because we know getting up can be tiring, coming down can feel quite daunting when you've got stairs heading down beneath you and you may not feel like you're in control of your leg movements. So have a go at these movements and see if they can help with the task overall. The first thing I want to talk about is knee control. It's a really important part of getting up and down the stairs successfully. If the knee locks out like this, it can be quite hard to unlock. And if it unlocks with a judder, it can be quite an unnerving feeling, especially if you've got the stairs ahead of you. So first exercise, we're not going to use the stairs, just a chair for support. And I want you to get your weight 50-50. So if you know you usually put more weight on one side, try and come to the middle so that you've got 50% of your weight on one side, 50% on the other. Stand nice and tall. So you could use your kitchen counter here or a chair. And first of all, come out of that unlocked position if you're someone that locks your knees regularly. We're going to work out the difference between locked and unlocked. I like to call these soft knees. So they're not bent, but nor are they completely straight, just a little bit soft. And from this position, once you've worked that out, make sure you're 50-50 again. Might be tempting to go onto one side. We're going to work into a slight bend and then up, but not to locked. Keep those knees soft. So down again to that mini bend, straightening up, but only about 9/10 of the way. Bending down, straightening up. Now this movement is really good for getting the muscles that control the knee just above the knee here, working and slowly bending and slowly straightening the knee. I want you to try and get out of the habit of your knees bending slowly or straightening back with too much force. So if you find yourself locked again, come out of that position. That locked position puts a lot of strain onto the knee joint. It can cause inflammation, it can cause pain and instability if it happens a lot. But it can be really easily rectified with an exercise like this. So you're going to keep going, trying not to use the hands to lean onto the chair, just softly there for balance. You might not need your hands at all. And if you feel happy to, you could go to a slightly lower bend, but making sure you come up slowly with control with those soft knees at the top. Bending down, soft knees at the top. This will help your thigh muscles get control. If they feel a bit shaky, that's okay. They're just getting tired. So this isn't an exercise to do at the end of the day. It's one to do while you're feeling fresh. This is what I call a free exercise. Works brilliantly to do it little and often through the day. Doesn't take much time or energy commitment. But if you find yourself with a locked knee, go to a soft knee, 50-50, and then a few of these little tiny knee bends, making sure you're always in control. For this exercise, you're going to stand at the bottom of your flight of stairs or with a single step in front of you. Doesn't matter either way. The movement is going to be tapping one foot onto the step and coming down, but there's a bit of preparation work to do first. So stand tall, get those knees a little bit soft again, like we talked about in the other video. And if you've got a railing on your standing side, you can hold on to that. But actually, if you don't have a railing or you don't need to hold on to it, that's absolutely fine as well. So if this is going to be my standing leg for the exercise, the first thing I need to do is bring my weight over onto that side. The easiest way to do this is think about moving your hip towards the wall, if there's one there, or towards your banister. Shift the weight over and make sure that knee is soft. You're going to try and keep that soft knee and try and stay tall as you move all your weight to that standing leg and take your toe up to the step and down again. So we're just going to put the toes up to the step and down with control. Now, if you've got some weakness in those hip flexors, you might only be able to do a few good repetitions of this. That's absolutely fine. You can rest after a couple. But if you're able to keep going, I want you to keep tall. Check that soft knee and make sure this foot is landing lightly. So the movement here is with control. And the way you know you're in control is to move quietly and slowly. So if you're stamping onto the step or stamping back down again, you've probably lost some control there. So start fresh. Let's try on the other side. Take the weight over to one side. Make sure that knee is a little bit soft. That might be quite hard in itself and needs some practice. When you're ready, you can have your hand there if you need it. When you're ready, you're going to lightly take up that toe and bring it down again. Do what the hip flexor allows, but the aim here is quiet and slow, avoiding those stamping landings and getting the hip flexor working to get your toe up onto the step, but also really making this standing leg work hard. And if you've done a few in a row with me, you'll feel that this hip is really starting to feel it now. This is a great exercise if you know that you avoid one leg a little bit because it's a bit weaker. Makes you take the weight over there and you're working on control. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can swap from one leg, shifting the weight to this side, to the other, and try and get that control every single time. If you want to make it a little harder still, you can step up to a higher step or tap those toes to your second step on your staircase. Standing at the bottom of your stairs or with a step in front of you, the movement this time is going to be putting the foot onto the step and this time pushing up so both feet are on the step. The leg that stepped up is then going to go down to land on the floor as well. I'm going to keep going with that same leg. So foot up, same foot comes down to land quietly with control on the floor. And we're going to keep doing this same movement, working both legs. The front leg at the top is pushing us up from the thighs and the hip. As that leg goes down, the other one is slowly having to control us down. Just like as you go down the stairs, you need control. But we need quite a lot of effort and power to be able to push us up the stairs. And this is where I really often see a cheat. And that cheat is putting your hand on the rail and pulling up like this, using the arm more than the legs. So I always like to say, your legs are stronger than your arms. Let's use the legs to go up the stairs. Definitely use the handrail if you need to for safety and for balance, especially if you're tired. Safety first, always hold on to that handrail if you need it. But as you step up, move your shoulders forward so your weight is over the foot on the step. Then you're going to use a big powerful push to go upwards using this thigh. On the way down, we want to try and slowly control the movement so that the knees aren't locked at the top of the movement or as we lower down. Okay, swap legs. The other leg pushes up, shoulders forwards, power up. That leg now comes down to the floor as we slowly lower with control. And for control, we have to move quietly and slowly. So try and land the foot quietly onto the step, power up, and then reach quietly down towards the floor with control. You can keep going with the same leg over and over for repetitions, or you could do the right leg, then the left leg, as a little bit of a coordination exercise, alternating your leading leg each time you go up and down the step. For this next exercise, have the stairs in front of you, but this time turn to face your railing so that the stairs are beside you. You're going to put one foot onto the step, and that foot's going to stay there as your standing leg. And the exercise this time is to push up onto this leg so the other foot is in the air, like this. Then slowly lower down with some control to land quietly. So go again, pushing up onto that standing leg. Careful the knee is controlled and doesn't lock out, and then slowly lower with control. So when you're here, you can have your hands on your hips or lightly on the handrail if you need it, and keep going on that same leg. As you're doing this, I want you to think about your hips. So the foot at the bottom of the step, the hip is lower down as we start. As you push up onto the step, the hips even out, and then I want you to do a little bit more. Can you lift that hip at the bottom of the stairs before bending the knee to come down with control? Now, this is a movement that will use the thighs, but we'll really use the hip as well if we can lift that bottom hip just a little bit above the other one. So you might just be able to do a few of these. It's quite a tricky movement to master, and you'll feel this hip and those stabilizing muscles working as well as you balance having to work quite hard. Okay, stop there. We're going to turn around and try with the other leg. So facing the other way, again, hands on the railing or maybe on the wall this time. Keep that foot on the step, push up onto it, don't let the knee lock, and lift that hip. Push up, lift the lower hip, and slowly lower down with control. Just like a few of the other exercises, we're aiming for a quiet landing and slow movement throughout, making sure that your knee doesn't lock as we go through all of the motions. For this exercise, you're going to be standing on the bottom step, facing down the stairs. Use that handrail or the wall if you need it to feel stable and confident. And we're going to be thinking about lowering yourself down the stairs with control. So the movement this time is going to be lowering down to the floor, then pushing back up again. Now, this is an area where lots of people tend to lock their knee to try and feel quite safe and secure while they're on the stairs. But actually, that sudden unlocking feeling that often happens feels far from safe and controlled. So let's try and build the confidence in keeping the knee soft and then being able to lower down. So holding on if you need it, but just lightly with the hand. Bring one foot down to the floor slowly and quietly. And you can take your weight forwards onto that foot. Then you're going to do a big push back up onto the foot left behind. Swap legs straight away. So soften your knee, step down with the other leg, slow control. We're really working on the control and coordination of that muscle now. And the other side. If you don't need to hold on, don't, but keep carrying on if that helps you feel confident. Pushing back up to the back foot, releasing the other foot forwards with slow control down. Once again, to know you're in control, you want to land quietly. So unlock that knee first, slowly go down and power back up. You could just start with a small movement rather than going all the way down to the floor here if you need to build up to the bigger version. But either way, we're asking a muscle in our thigh to lengthen slowly, and that can be quite tricky. So if your leg starts to feel shaky or tired on the lowering movement, just do a few and come back to a few more after a rest.